Hi everyone, and welcome to Monday Night Stamping. This is the perfect place to come to connect, to chat, and to unlock some paper crafting fun. So my name is Lillian with Stampers Niche, and I'm coming to you from Alberta, Canada. And today's date is April the 8th, 2024. So the big news about today, of course, was that in many parts of the world, there was a solar eclipse. We had blue skies here and sunshine, and it got a little bit, we lost a little bit of sunshine during the solar eclipse, but we weren't in the path of where the solar eclipse was happening. So it was pretty much a non-event here, but I would love to hear about whether you were able to see even a portion of the solar eclipse today, or maybe you're in a part of the world where you saw the full part of it, or maybe the weather wasn't cooperating, or you can even just share what the weather was like in your part of the world today, and tell us where you are too. That's always helpful to know. So as I go down to my desktop, say hi, tell us where you are, and if you had any solar eclipse experience or not today. All right, let's go down to my desktop as you're sharing those answers with me. And we will get all set up here. And there we go. It doesn't seem to matter how often or how well I set up ahead of time. Just that transition from going where you see my face to you see my desktop, things always go a little wonky. So Sharon, hi, welcome Sharon. You missed the eclipse. Well, I'm with you there. I did miss the eclipse too. My husband said it didn't really happen in this part of the world, but we can always listen to other people and see what happened there. Just getting my computer set up there. Cloudy in Fernie. Oh, well, yeah, that doesn't give you any chance, does it, Catherine? Okay. All right. Welcome, everybody. Keep saying hi and that kind of thing as you're popping on. And I just want to remind you about this just before we start our project. So the last chance lists have been posted for some time. We've looked at them, we've seen what's retiring, but beginning tonight at 1 minute past midnight, I believe, if you want to get the sale prices, and you'll see there are sale prices on some of the items here, that is going live. So the sale part of the last chance list is going live tonight, and all of these things are just while supplies last. Now, take a good look. I've been including this list in my newsletter, but if you've missed out, then fire me off a message or an email, or even in the comments below here, and say, could I please have a link to the last chance lists again, and I will send it to you. One thing to notice are the little symbols in this column. They mean something. And if you look at the bottom, if it has one of the little stars, it means it's for Stampin' Rewards. If it has two, it means the bundle includes some products that are not returning. So it's a bundle, and maybe one item's returning and one item isn't, or something like that. Or maybe it's being unbundled, which is quite often the fact. And 3 stars, it says, while the items in these bundles are not returning, they will, pardon me, let me read that again. While the items in these bundles are returning, they will no longer be offered at the bundle price. All right, so pay attention to those little stars. They mean something, and they will help you in your shopping experience there. So remember, reach out to me if you need a link to these lists, or you can find them on my website likely. Now, I looked through my designer paper, and I saw some designer papers that I hadn't used very much. And so I've been trying to use them. I had different plans for tonight's project, but we had tons of company all week. And so my plans changed midstream. So this is called the Forever Love designer paper. It is absolutely gorgeous in person. It's got the gold in it like that. And then on the other side, it's got these colors here. So you're seeing petal pink, moody mauve, that kind of thing, pretty peacock. And very vanilla is the other neutral color in there. So gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Now I had asked you, which one of these did you want me to use tonight? Whoops, I had them the other way around. Let me just switch that around. Like that. A or B? And look at this, folks. It was almost a tie. A won by 1 vote. So we are going to be using this paper tonight. And you might be saying, I don't even remember seeing that paper. Well, that paper is in the mini catalog, and you'll find it on, whoops, turned too many pages there. You'll find it on page 15, and it's right here with this gorgeous collection of items here. So this ribbon is returning. It'll still be, you'll still be able to get it, but the paper is not. And I wanted to just have a little feature of that. So here's another question for you. How many of you have some designer paper that you need to show some love, that you need to use? Maybe give us the name of the designer paper or the colors or something like that. We are going to use this designer paper, and we're going to cut it to 4 by 12. So it's already 12 inches this way. We're going to cut it to 4 inches here. And this is all I have left of this piece. So now I've got this to decorate envelopes with or something like that. So we have it like this. Now we're going to, Catherine Lotz, well, so if you could choose one to work with and use, what would it be? I made a goal. Joanne has often laughed because I made a goal a few years ago because I always ended up with tons of designer paper, that I made it a goal to start to use it. What I was finding is I was kind of hoarding it, kind of afraid to use it, and I just decided, no, I've got to cut into it and use it. So I digress. The first score line is at 5.5. So we've got the 12-inch side at the top, and we're scoring at 5.5. And then we're going to score at 11. So 5.5 and 11. Just like that. So you haven't used this one? I hadn't either, Catherine, and it's gorgeous. I think I got caught in, it's just too pretty. So I forgot to look to see what was on the other side. What we're going to make tonight, I've made similar cards before. It's one where you get to see both sides of the designer paper. So the 5.5 one, we're going to fold at 5.5, line up our edges. I keep forgetting to do what my downline Mark taught me to do, and when I'm trying to line up edges, use the lip of something and keep them nice and straight. It works like a charm when I remember to do it. It just takes me a while to remember to program myself. So we've got it like that, and then this piece that's sticking over, the 1-inch side, we are going to fold it back. Now we could have done it the other way and had the pretty peacock side on the inside, but I kind of wanted this on the outside and this on the inside, and then it's going to open like that. So we've done this kind of card before, but we're going to do just a couple of more things with it, or at least I couldn't remember having done it with you before. So we've got some pieces here. One of the designer papers, the specialty papers that is retiring, is the Distressed Gold, and I use this paper all the time. I just love it. So I actually had a piece this small, and it was perfect for here. This is the kind of paper I keep all the pieces. So what I want to do, just to dress it up and to bring out the gold here, I'm going to fasten that here. So let's just bring in. And when I'm using my foil papers, a personal preference for me is I like a dry adhesive just seems to be kinder with the papers. Now I'm going to I put my adhesive here, and I'm going to turn this over and attach it here. And you can adjust how wide you want your border to be. I'm just going to wing it and see what happens. And I'm just touching it down, making sure I've got it fairly even. There we go. So now already I have dressed it up with that distressed gold. So now I'm going to glue this down. You don't have to. I'm just choosing to glue it down like that. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in a piece of Pretty Peacock. So this is coordinating cardstock, and this is going to just be the base of our card. The card is going to go end to end. I just didn't want to cut any of the 12 by 12 paper off, but it's going to have a bit of border top and bottom. So yeah, the distressed gold can just make such a difference, just even though it's a little piece, or any of those specialty papers. Sometimes it's the old little dabble do you kind of thing. So we're going to put this down on here, and you can see how quickly and easily you could do a whole set of cards. And because we cut this 4 inches across, you could get 3 cards from one 12 by 12 sheet of paper. That was one of the reasons I cut it at 4 inches. I wanted to make sure that I was going to be able to use all of the paper and make maximum use of it. So that gives you the option to make 2 more cards, just like this. So look at that, just makes my heart happy. So now I am going to bring in some very vanilla and stamp on it. Now you can either stamp first or cut first, your preference. As you can see, I'm going to be using the Heartfelt Hexagon punch, and it's going to be back in stock by the end of the month. So by the 22nd is what they're hoping for. I think I'm going to punch because I'm going to be playing with placement a little bit here. So I'm going to stamp on here. And I'm bringing in the Dainty Delight stamp set. I love this word, Celebrate You. So I'm going to use that. And then I think I'm going to use this image because to me, those could pass as pussy willows, right? Now the pussy willows are not yet out here. They might be in your part of the world, but that's my goal, to make them sort of pass as pussy willows, and I can use it as a spring card. So I'm going to, how many of you love pussy willows? Do they signify spring for you? Catherine, you use it a lot too. I know, isn't it perfect? Because it's just good for everything. You're not locked into a certain occasion. It can cover all kinds of occasions. So I'm using Pretty Peacock ink, and I'm going to stamp it towards this side, and then I can do I'll call them pussy willows, on the other side. There we go. Celebrate You. Now I brought in both the Pretty in Pink and the Moody Mauve inks. So either would go. We've got Pretty in Pink happening here. The other piece of paper that you had a choice with had Moody Mauve on the back. So that's why I've got both here, but they both work really well together. So let's just bring that scrap paper back in. I'm going to experiment a little bit here. And I do this a lot. I play with my colors a bit. So I'm going to stamp one in Pretty in Pink. And then I'm going to stamp one in Moody Mauve. Just have to clean it. Bring in my Stampin' Scrub. I put this tape on here because it looks like water, and it's easier for me to see than the little raindrops in the corner. And we'll try Moody Mauve and then decide which we think would look better on this card. So be thinking, which do you think you would use on this card? Moody Mauve, Pussy Willows, Moody Mauve, or Pretty in Pink? So I think I know what I'm leaning towards. So pink mauve, which, or you can say moody or pretty, whichever. What do you think you would use with this card? Pretty in pink. Okay, pretty in pink it is. And once I put it here, I thought so too. This would look gorgeous if we'd use the other paper. But with this paper, I think this is the best bet. So pretty in pink, we'll ink that up. And we're going to just sort of angle it like that. I'll bring in my chamois and wash that off. I got some on my glass mat. There we go. Now, if I put this on here, it looks okay, but I kind of want to dress it up. What do you think? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to punch out another hexagon from the distressed gold. Never have too much distressed gold, right? So we'll put that here. Now, the problem is, of course, is they're the same size, and I want it to be a bit of a border. So what I'm going to do is bring in my snips and cut right down the middle, like that. How many of you use your punches this way? I really like doing it this way to add just a bit of interest. I am going to use liquid glue here just because it's at an angle and stuff. So we're going to put this here, and it's just a good way of extending your punches. And you can do the same with your dies too, any shape. Whoops, there we go. Wipe that on my jeans. That's why we wear jeans, right? And we'll bring the other piece in. Like that. Oh, I see lots of others are like using this trick as well, right? So now if we put it on here, already we've made it look more interesting. We've jazzed it up a little bit. But I think we could do one more thing. So let me just get some of this sticky off my fingers. We've got this gold cord. This is retiring. It's the Simply Elegant trim. We've had it for a few years, and I am going to miss it a great deal. So it comes with silver and gold in the package, and this one was left over from something else, so I'm going to put it to use. And I'll just bring in my snail and put some snail here. Seal, pardon me, there was a flashback. And I just want to add some interest behind here. So let's see. See what I'm doing? I'm just sticking it into that adhesive and making a couple of loop-de-loos. Like that. Take that, cut that off. And we'll do the same over here. I kind of want that more fluffy. Might have to come back and play with that some more. And we'll put this here. Do you find that you play sometimes with some of the embellishment type of things? You spend more time working around with those than with anything else. Okay. I want that over this way a little bit more. And because we've used seal, we can take it off and put it back on again. Okay. I want one small and one big, or difference in size is what I'm looking for. It adds, to me, it adds some interest. Well, making this a difficult operation. It's wanting to twist on me. I'm going to work on it from the back. There we go. There. Well, I'm going to leave it just like that. And I'm going to throw some dimensionals on to hold it in place. Trust me, when I did my sample earlier, I did not have so many issues, but that's the joy of it, right? And we've all had issues at times. So I'm going to use the edges of my dimensionals to hold that down. And we'll add a few more for good measure here. Bring my little dish in. So how many of you have this designer paper, and what have you made with it? Or are you like me? You needed to have a little motivation to use it. So there we go. Oh, that's pretty wild. Sorry, it's still bugging me. I'm going to pull a little bit more of this through and make that a little bit bigger. There we go. So who's been using this paper, and what have you made with it? There you go. And now, oh, I thought I had my embellishments here. Just 1 second. I even knew what I wanted. So the brushed metallic adhesive back dots are retiring, and these come in the 3 colors, the brass, the copper, and the gold. And so they look perfect on here, I think. So I'm going to just scatter a few of those. And I'm going to put one here. And one here. This card is just embracing the gold. And we'll put one, I think, right here. So there we go, like that. And there is our card. Now we need something to go on the inside. And what I did, I forgot to cut it for tonight. Like I said, we've had a house full of company for over a week. In fact, we had over 20 people for supper Saturday night. It's just been a little crazy. I forgot to cut the inside, but I'll show you what I did on some other cards. So there is our basic card. How easy is that to make? I'm going to show you what to do with this. So with that, some of that scrap that you had left over, you could definitely decorate your envelope. Yes, it doesn't cover the whole flap, but you could add a piece going down the side. You could cut a piece and do just part of your flap, and all that kind of thing. So you could add it for that. So just a super, super card. When I was working up thank you, Catherine. I'm glad you love it. I love seeing those hearts coming up. Thank you so much. When I was doing my sample, here I used another sheet from that same paper, exactly the same design, to have much more success with my twine there. And then on the inside, I cut a deckled rectangle, mounted it on a plain, pretty peacock, and that is my inside for that one there. So you can see how you could make a set of cards, whether you needed them for yourself or a set to gift, and this would be a super, super easy idea to do. Now, can you only make this with fancy paper? No, I went and took that, oh, what's the name of the paper? I call it the guitar paper. Where did I put my, let me just see here. It is the rock and roll paper. So the paper that's found on page 55, I had some of that I hadn't been using. So this paper right here. And so I brought that out. And on this one, I used the TaylorMade tags, which are retiring, which I use all the time. And I used the silver twine here. And my sentiment on here, I embossed with black embossing powder. and it is from the Notes of Nature, which is also retiring, which I just love. So as you can see, there's been a bit of a theme about retiring items and also fun folds and designer paper. So I'll just show you here. I just cut 2 rectangles for the lining. But isn't that great how you can see the inside of that card? So why am I concentrating on fun folds and designer paper? Well, this month you can earn a free class featuring the fun folds and designer paper, or you can purchase the class, or you can come and have the class in person. I've got the class to go here, but it's actually class period. I printed this before I put it all together. So you can find out more by following this link. And I chose one set of designer paper and made all the cards with it, but then showed alternatives. So for example, remember fun folds and designer papers. So for this one, I was using the flowering zinnias. And so this is the fun fold, but then I also showed an alternative in this paper. So each of the cards in the class, there are 3 cards plus a portfolio to hold your cards. Each of the cards I show you in the one design, and then I show you how it looks in another design. So you can see how to use up those designer papers. So again, this is where you go to find out more information, whether you want to earn it for free with a $60 order or whether you want to purchase it. There are several options, so read over the options and see what you like. And while we're just doing a little bit of catch up here, just keep your eyes open. Whoops, upside down. Sorry if I made you seasick there. I have an In Color Club in the works, so be watching for it. These are the new In Colors that are coming May 2nd. They're absolutely gorgeous. They just feel like spring to me, so be watching for that. And also Paper Pumpkin. So Paper Pumpkin, here's the link to subscribe to Paper Pumpkin with me. It's a kit that gets delivered monthly, and if you say, oh, I want to hold off for a month or 2, you can manage that and do that all you want. So you can suspend it or cancel it at any time. And so each month it's a new one. So if you order before April the 10th, the kit will be called Delicate Wings. So here's a little corner of what one of the cards looks like. And you'll make 9 cards, 3 each of 3 designs. You will have champagne foil images. You'll have a little bit of a stamp set, and you'll have a Stampin' Spot. So just tons of good things in each of those kits. So just something there to remember. Also, when you watch my Facebook Lives, whether it's on Facebook or if you watch it on YouTube, thank you so much for giving me a thumbs up and subscribing or whatever it is. But remember, in my Facebook group, my private group, so right now we're on the Facebook page. If you go to my Facebook group, you will see me do more samples and share more information of all kinds of things there. So I invite you to subscribe to my group, to join my group. And it's just a community of stampers that have a lot of fun together, and we share projects. And I do share a lot more projects over there. So if you like what I do, please, oh goodness, got a frog getting all choked up. Please pop over and join that group. So here the cards are again. So which one do you like? Which one would you prefer to have? And what other designer papers can you see this card being made in? Which one would you like to see it be made in? You think, okay, I'm not so sure if I could do it or not. What could I do? So you can give me a suggestion and maybe I'll make it. So thank you so much for joining me tonight. Remember, if you want any of these products, you can contact me or you can go to my website and shop there. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye.